My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review of Terror on the Prairie. And this is a movie that I was legitimately rooting for. Just based on who made it and what they're trying to do, that's something I can really get behind. So I was really hoping I would love this movie, and after watching it, being completely honest, it is very, very terrible. I haven't seen the Daily Wire's other movies, but if they're as bad as this one, then they really need to step up their game. Just everything about this movie feels very amateurish. You know, people can say what they want about the Hollywood machine and all that, but at least lots of what they do produce looks and feels like a movie. Whether or not that movie or TV show is good or not is another case entirely, but they look and feel cinematic, and you just get none of that here. It always feels like you're watching people playing dress up, delivering lines, and it just makes it impossible to get invested in anything going on. And on top of that, they made this really terrible decision to have almost no music playing throughout it. And it's just lacking that cinematic feel because of it. Like you watch a movie like Inception. I know it's a completely different movie, but you take the music away from it and the movie's not as good. You need the music. The music elevates the movie. And the decision to have almost no music in this movie was really terrible. I also thought the technical aspects of this movie were really bad. The cinematography was way too dark. For about 60% of the movie, I couldn't see the characters, who was doing what was going on, and it just made for a very frustrating watch. And the editing during the action sequences is very messy. Like you'll focus on one character pointing against someone, and then you'll cut to some other characters going around the back, and you'll keep cutting around to the two, and it's just way too many cuts showing you way too much, and it just constantly took me out of it. Now that said, I will say that I like the premise of this movie. It's about this mom who has to defend her two kids as they get under attack by these strangers, and it takes place in this one location for the most part. And I really like the idea. It could have been a great self-contained Western thriller. Kind of like that movie that came out last year, Old Henry. It could have been another good Western like that. But the overall execution of this plot was just lacking in every possible sense. Like I said, the technical elements aren't good, but the writing is just so bad. I found all the characters to be incredibly flat and boring, and the main character frustrated me so many times just due to how stupid she was in certain moments. And then on top of that, this movie has a couple moments of exposition overload, and then the way this entire movie begins with these strangers coming to this house asking for some water. You know, during sequences like that, you should just be feeling dread, that you know what's coming, and you should be on the edge of your seat, feeling the tension, and you just get none of that here. Just none of it. Once again, I know it's a completely different movie, but you take a movie like Funny Games, and it's not a great movie, but those opening 20 minutes are just horrific, and it's all based on the fact that you know something bad is going to happen to this family. And here you just feel none of that. And the action in this movie is not good at all. It's not shot well, it's not edited well, it's not tense or thrilling or entertaining or stylistic. It's just the most bland generic action that could have existed. And you can just tell they're trying really hard in moments to make this movie as dark and edgy as possible, and it does feel forced. Now let's talk about the cast. Gina Carano does seem like the nicest person in real life, and I do think Haywire is one of the most underrated movies of the past 11 years. Like, that movie does have issues, it is cliche, but the action in that movie is absolutely phenomenal. And I have never seen her in The Mandalorian. I watched like 2 episodes and I'm like, yeah, I'm done with Star Wars TV forever. Thanks for trying, Zoe. But she's really bad here. Like, I don't think she has any bit of personality. She doesn't carry this movie well. It's a very bland performance. And the rest of the cast is really bad as well. No one gives a good performance in this movie. And this movie is unintentionally hysterical in moments. Like, it's a movie I could see, have a few friends over, have a few drinks, and laugh at it in moments. I feel like you could do that. Like, there are some moments, like there's this one scene, it's meant to be a dark, wow, this movie just went there scene. Well, the bad guys kill a cow, and it shows them shoot the cow, and nothing happens to the cow, and then it cuts to the kid crying, and then the next scene is they're eating cow. And you can just tell that they didn't know how to show that the cow is dead. And then there's another scene where they're getting chased in this river, and just the way the scene looks with everyone taking the giant footsteps that you do in the river, just it looked so goofy. Like, the main land is right there. Like, just get out of the water. And there's a good portion of this movie where the kids just vanish. You know, you're like, did they just forget about them? There is this one scene. Like I said, the main character is really dumb in moments where she's got a clear shot of the bad guy, and then she realizes that he's trying to trick her, and then she attacks the other guys when she could have killed the main bad guy right there, right then. And look, it's just not a good movie. It's not. I like the premise, I like what they're going for, but everything about the execution falls flat in every possible way. The script is awful. The performances are all flat and boring. The characters aren't even remotely interesting. The action isn't good. There's just nothing to recommend about this movie. You know, like I said, you could probably watch it, make fun of it, and have a few laughs, but that's as positive as I can get on this movie. So I'm going to go ahead and give Terror on the Prairie a 2 out of 10. If the Daily Wire wants to make the movies, I'm all for it, but when you've got product like this that comes out as a result, you're not doing yourself any favors. They have to step up their game. So, have you seen Terror on the Prairie? What did you think about it? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe. Stay tuned for some more videos soon, and Gavin out.